Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to do a little bit of a chatty video, give some life updates and talk about some upcoming projects as well as some updates about my business. So grab a cup of tea and let's get into it. So first off, upcoming projects. I've got a few holiday themed videos planned, so I'm hoping for either next week or the week after to get a tutorial filmed for a holiday crochet project. So I'm currently working on that right now and I'm hoping to get that filmed next week, so be on the lookout for that. My crochet videos in general seem to do pretty well, so I'm thinking about leaning more into that. I'm more of an intermediate crocheter. I'm not really an expert, but I do enjoy creating my own patterns and I'm happy to share them. So let me know if more crochet is something that you want to see from me. I'm a knitter too, so I have also been contemplating doing some knitting projects, so that might be something that's coming in the future as well. If there's any particular knitting type of projects that you're interested in, you can let me know below. So in addition to that Christmas crochet project, I'm probably going to be doing some other Christmassy themed videos too. I do a bunch of holiday baking every year, so I might film some of that and provide some recipes. And we just got a KitchenAid mixer too, so that'll make the process a little bit easier. I also haven't started decorating for Christmas yet, and I might wait until the beginning of December to do that. We don't actually have any snow here yet, and I find that I don't really get into the Christmas spirit, I guess, until there's some snow on the ground. It has actually been snowing off and on a little bit today, and we were supposed to get a big snowstorm overnight, but I don't think it ever got cold enough. It's snowing, but it's just melting as soon as it hits the ground. So I think it's just hovering around 0. So it's not actually cold enough yet for the snow to stay. So once the temperature drops a little bit and we have some actual snow on the ground, I think I'll feel a little more like doing some holiday decorating. So yeah, I'll possibly do a video on that as well. I haven't really decided what I'm gonna do for decorating yet though, because we don't actually have room for a tree this year. So we used to have a small, I think like 4 or 5 foot artificial tree, but we had some water in our basement this spring and the base was just made out of styrofoam. So the water kind of like came up through the floor and then soaked into the styrofoam. So we ended up just throwing it out because we didn't want it to get moldy and disgusting. So we have in the past gotten a real tree as well, but I just don't think we have space for it this year. The spot where we had the artificial tree last year, we now have a record player, and I think if we were to get a real tree, it would also be quite a bit wider than the small artificial one we had as well. So I don't think it would fit there. We kind of talked about putting it in front of a bookshelf, but that's also kind of like a walkway in between the living room and dining room. We also have a treadmill there right now, so I don't think that would work either. So I'm gonna have to find some way to decorate that does not involve a tree. I'm still considering different ideas right now. Also, in terms of projects and video ideas, I still need to finish the cabin that I made for my cat. I posted the first video on that 2 or 3 months ago, so it's been quite a while. I have done a little more work on it and some filming, but even that was a few weeks ago and it's not quite done, so I need to just sit down and finish that one. I even have some of the footage edited already. I just need to actually finish the project. So that is also on my to-do list. So yeah, look out for that. Sometime in the future, I will get around to it eventually, I swear. So I think that's it right now for video ideas. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, either more crochet projects or knitting or other types of crafts, yeah, let me know. If baking videos interest you at all. I've been doing YouTube for over a year now, but I'm still trying to figure out my niche. Crochet seems to be doing really well, but I don't want to limit myself either. I enjoy crochet, but I love doing a variety of crafts as well. Like sewing is something that I really love, and I work as a cross-stitch designer as well, so cross-stitch is another thing that I really enjoy doing, but is kind of difficult to do videos on. other than just kind of basic tutorials, just because once you know how to cross stitch, there isn't really any point in just like watching somebody else make a project. So I'd be happy to make cross stitch videos if that's of interest to anyone. If you want to see tutorials or anything, yeah, let me know. So I think from there I'm going to move on to some business updates. So as I mentioned, I'm a cross stitch designer, and my main income comes from kits that I sell of my designs. So I design a pattern, I buy all of the materials, and then I assemble the kits. I sell on Etsy for the most part. I have just set up my website to have a shop component to it as well, so I'm selling directly through there in addition to Etsy. However, at the moment, now that I've got everything all set up on my website to sell, I've had to basically shutter my business, which is very unfortunate. So I live in Canada, and at the moment our national postal carrier is on strike, which means mail is not moving at all. And they are the only carrier I ship with, just because my business is so small that it just doesn't make sense for me to ship with another carrier, because it would up shipping costs so much just because my volume is so low. So I haven't bothered to set up an account with anybody else. I have my shipping labels just created directly within Etsy, so it's super convenient for me to do that, and to set up with somebody else just would be very inconvenient. I'd have to like completely set up a new account with them and then get labels through them directly rather than Etsy, and my shipping prices would be totally different, and it would just be a bit of a mess, and like nobody knows how long the strike is going to last for either. So if it only lasts a week, is it worth all the hassle to do this? So I decided it's just best to put things on pause and wait for this to resolve. Unfortunately, it is the worst time of year for this to happen. So typically like mid-November through to beginning of December is the busiest time of year because people are doing all of their online Christmas shopping. So that's when I make the majority of my revenue from my business, and now I'm making absolutely nothing. I do actually have a craft market coming up this weekend, so I'll be doing that on Saturday, and I am crossing my fingers that it goes well, because this might be my only income for the holiday season, depending on how long this strike gets dragged out for. I was kind of hoping to remain self-employed if I could, but this is a bit of a blow, and I don't know that I'm going to afford to be able to do that, so I'm probably gonna have to do some job searching. I'm gonna wait until January because I don't think there's much point in searching right before the holidays, and December tends to be so busy anyways, so I don't really want to add more to that, and I have enough savings that I can make it through. I'm just kind of dreading the whole job searching process. It's never fun, and just because I've been dealing with anxiety for the past couple of years, I think that's going to make the whole process even worse. Yeah. So I guess that kind of leads into my third category, if you will, of the video, which I guess is life updates. So things haven't been super exciting recently. I've just mostly been putting in time working on the business, but that more or less has come to a standstill. There are still some things that I can do, just kind of prepping for when the mail starts running again. But aside from working on that, I went downtown last week to the library and renewed my library card. It had expired a few years ago and I just had never bothered to renew it. So after I did that, I had access to Libby and I put a bunch of books on hold. And I actually already have a bunch of physical books that I need to read, but now I have all these ebooks to read now too. So I had kind of tagged a few that were available as kind of a TBR to read later, just so that I can find them easily again. And then most of the books that I was wanting to read were already taken out, so I had to put them on hold. So kind of the first day that I got my library card, I put like 10 books on hold, and then I think the day after one of them became available, so I started reading that, and then the day after that I had another one come available. So now I have 2 books available there, and there's another one that says 2 weeks, but it's probably going to be within the next couple of days that it's available. So I'm gonna have to read fast. And then yeah, I've got a stack of physical books that I need to get through as well. So I think while this strike is happening and I'm not as busy as I would have been otherwise, I'm gonna spend a lot of time reading. And I would like to try to get a head start on doing more YouTube videos as well, because I've been kind of slacking with that recently, just because I was focusing so much on the business, trying to get things up and running on my website and prepping for the holidays. But now that I don't need to do as much of that, yeah, I have a little more time. So I would like to spend more time working on videos. So yeah, as I mentioned, I do have a couple of things started. Yeah, what else have I got going on? So I think other than that, it's pretty much just holiday prep. I haven't gotten started on Christmas shopping yet, so I want to do that soon. I was thinking probably next week I would go out and do some of that. I still need to figure out my holiday baking list. I have kind of a few standards that I do every year, so I'm definitely going to do those, but I might try out a couple of new things too. And then decorating. I don't quite know yet what our plans for the holidays are. I think it's probably just going to be a couple of holiday dinners with family, getting together with our parents and opening gifts, and then just some friend hangouts. We already have plans with friends for New Year's Eve. Last year we went over to a friend's house and just hung out there and chatted, and yeah, we ended up staying overnight because they live in a small town, so it's less than an hour away. It's not super far, but it's far enough that we don't want to be driving on the highway on New Year's Eve. We're gonna do the same thing this year, just go over and hang out with them and spend the night. They have a spare bedroom, so I think that's it for now. If you would like to see some of my upcoming projects, please make sure that you subscribe. If you have any ideas for me for projects, please leave them down below, or just comment to say hi. That's great too. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Immediately forgot the next thing I was going to say. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. This is my TED Talk. No. Oh no. Oh no. I'm making a mess. Tea spilling. Ugh. Okay, disaster averted. So I think